Hi, Julia.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. We are back again for
We're
another
back again.
another episode,
Yes.
and we want to talk about today. I think we want to talk about obviously everything that's going on at the moment with Russia and Ukraine and Europe as a whole. It seems like there's a lot of tension and a lot of trouble at the moment in the world on that front. And everybody is worried about what's going to happen in Europe. NATO and the United States have said that they're not going to get involved in terms of getting boots on the ground or having no-fly zones enforced, because if they do that, then that's essentially tantamount to World War III. So they're basically saying the Europeans have to work it out, which leaves it to Germany, France, essentially Germany and France, and any other countries that want to get involved. So it's not looking very good at the moment. And Putin, I just saw on the news today that he's saying that everything's going to plan, but of course he would say that because he can't say otherwise as the leader. But he says that according to his plans, everything's on track. The Ukrainians also say that, you know, they're holding their defenses and they're fighting. And also the other thing I noticed as well today is that all Ukrainian men aged between 18 and 60 are being told they can't leave the country. They have to stay in Ukraine and take up arms in preparation to fight.
It's horrible.
At the moment. It is horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is horrible.
It's hard to believe that this is actually happening in Europe.
How
again.
Yeah. How you feel? Also, which is your feeling after you hearing everything around? How is your personal feeling? How is your intuition?
Initially, I felt like it was all just talk, you know, like it was, like we say, a dick swinging contest between Putin and the West. But once Putin decided to invade Ukraine or to basically invade, my attitude changed a little bit, because I always felt like he's not going to do it. He's just talking tough, but nothing's going to happen. And now that it has happened, I wouldn't say I'm scared, I'm worried, but I am concerned. Like I'm watching it closely to see what happens. Because I think I said to you just as well, you know, privately, you know, I have a feeling that with Putin at the moment, if you push him into a corner, he's a bit like a scared animal. If you push them into a corner, and there's no other option for them, and they feel threatened, what's their reaction? It's that they're going to strike out. They're going to attack. It's a natural defense. So, you know, when Putin, I think what for me did it was when Putin said that he called his nuclear security team, or whatever he called them, to special alert. That for me was a bit like, oh shit. Right, as soon as he calls those guys on to be basically available to act on his command, that worried me a little bit, because that could mean literally anything. So, yeah. How about you? What did you think? Or how do you feel?
I think I have a very strange feeling inside me. You know, I think you know me, that I'm very sensitive and always feel things. And this time I feel like, and the first moment for me was like, okay, he's going to be like in Georgia or like in Crimea, you know, and all this. And nobody is going to say too much, like Syria, you know, it's just 1 month having a war, and then after 1 month everybody forget it. So, because this is the normal way we know or we knew before, you know. But when I was beginning to say how in his body language and how it's going on, how it's going to begin on that problem and that war now, or at the first moment, I believe first what he said, like he just want to destroy the military forces over there in Ukraine to feel himself safe. He's always repeating all the time that he's always repeating he doesn't feel safe. He doesn't feel safe because all the NATO countries around.
He feels threatened by NATO.
Yes. It's
and he
like,
thinks the Ukraine is basically aligning themselves with the West.
Right.
Yeah.
He's right. Ukraine is going to be apart from NATO, and he's afraid if they sign that paper, because he knows that he's there more close. The danger is closer. It's just 640 kilometers far away from Moscow. And how we know Putin, and if you see Putin in his history, I don't think he's a crazy person, and I think he's from the KGB agent. He never do a step without be sure, because he's training for that, all his life.
So he doesn't move, or he doesn't do something without really thinking about it.
No. Otherwise, is the economy in Russia better than never before? Because of...
Well, not now.
Okay, but not now at the moment. But people likes him in Russia, not just because he maybe is always telling not the truth and making a very strong propaganda like China, because those countries, they're working with this kind of propagandas and washing the heads from the people a lot. But Russian economic is better, much better than before, and that is the reason people, I think, likes him. But what are you going to expect for someone his study is still be there since 20 years, I think, already, like a president, and he always managed very, very, very clever. When he went, then he put a head there from another person. He knows exactly he can come again. Everything he did is very, very, very controlled.
Yeah, it's very, very manipulated.
Now. And I don't think very good calculated, not manipulated.
Yeah, that's a better word. You're right, calculated. Yeah.
And this is the thing. Why now not? Why now not? The two things. This is the reason I'm scary, but because I think it's not. If we are going to mix too much, the NATO is going to mix too much there, and we are going to do things that when he said, "Don't do that. If you do that, you are going to have troubles like Finland and Sweden. If they are going to be in the NATO, that we are going to get stronger." And a big danger for him, I'm sure we are going to have troubles, because for 3 days, I told you 3 Cathars was flying over, I think, Finland, Russian Cathars, for sure. Maybe
Cathars, you mean helicopters?
No, Cathars I make mix.
Oh, MiGs, so jets.
Yeah, jets, Krieg. War jets,
fighter jets.
Yeah, fighter jets. Yeah. And they put it. Okay, the fly forces in, not the fly forces. I think the commercial forces. They threw them a go. Like, what are you doing here? But he's checking all the territories. He knows.
Of course he is.
And he knows exactly where is that, and he knows everything. So that is the reason that I think anyway, I don't care now a shit, for example, why the travel is going to be until now. I understand many things that he's doing, and I understand that he's not so bad like we think he is. We are not so good like we think we are, you know. And this everybody should know that, you know, to understand why we have now this conflict there. But because so many economical interests since 2014 begins this conflict with.
It's been building up for a
Yes.
number of years.
Yes.
This isn't just something that's turned over
and we
overnight.
make like that, you know. We wanted not to see what is happened there, and we was helping in Ukraine all the time, you know, in this side, because the bases are there and the military controls are there, and many people is in the other side, in the Ukraine that we know now. And this is the reason when he say now something, how we have to handle. And in my opinion, even if USA doesn't come in to put his fingers on it, they did it before. That means
behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind.
They're involved.
Yeah, they're involved.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that, and I'll come to it, but please keep going.
They are involved, and you can't, because they are always involved. Sometimes I think if they prepare that, you know, that we are like European country get it now really less in the economy and maybe destroy it, you know, if it's going on that conflict. Because we have now weapons that we are going to destroy it as in 2 weeks. We don't need to have a 5 years long war like the Second War or like the First War. We don't need that anymore.
No.
You know, we can be destroyed in 2 weeks if we begin. That means in 2 weeks maybe we don't sitting here anymore. And this is the thing. The people at the moment, I have the feeling that the people doesn't know that, you know, that the people doesn't know the volume, you know, the huge dangers that we have now there. And this is completely at the moment out of control. Because it depends not from all of us at the moment, it depends just from one person that is in the moment feeling, like you say, like an animal on the corner. But he knows that too before. He's not stupid. He knows that we are going to make this kind of how it's called, limitations.
Sanctions.
For his country. He knows that, you know. And I'm very fed up when we think that Zelensky is the hero. Zelensky is the hero for nothing, for me, you know. Why I tell that? And I tell that with respect to Zelensky. Because he knows exactly which kind of person is Putin. Which kind of nation is behind Putin, you know. He knows that. Why he's not handled in another way? You know, why he's not, if he's so democratical and he's so peaceful and he's so, you know, why he's not handled? Because he's going to put in risk not just his country, he's putting in risk, you know, my life and all the life in Europe, you know, and I am not part from that world, you know, or I don't want to be part from that world. This is the reason he has to, you know, we are going to lose too much blood. And the end for what? And the end for what? Tell me, for what?
Well, for land. Basically.
For which land? Without people?
Yeah. Maybe.
Without people, without dogs, without rats, without nothing there?
Maybe.
Because it's for sure, not maybe, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the same. Which is the freedom price?
What's the price of freedom? Look,
what is the price of freedom?
I have a tendency. We spoke about this before we started recording. I think the president of Ukraine is actually showing more courage than most presidents or leaders of countries being invaded have presently shown. He's decided to stay and he's decided to fight and to take arms. I'm not saying that he is not without responsibility for why we are where we are, because he has very much aligned himself with NATO and with the West, and NATO and the West want to have the Ukraine territory so that they can have bases there and that they can control that part of the world, so that they're basically putting a stranglehold around Russia, which is what they want. They want to try to control Russia. But the other thing that what we're not hearing in the media and the press is that Ukraine itself is a very rich country in oil and gas.
Yes, I know.
And this is, I think,
the interest
the main reason,
course,
why this is starting.
Yeah.
Because Putin knows the value economically of what's there.
Yes.
And he wants to bring that back into the what was former USSR.
Yes.
Even though, I might add, and his premise for starting this war was that Ukraine is led by and run by neo-Nazis, which is funny in itself because the current president is a Jew, so it doesn't make sense. And that because they're neo-Nazis, the invasion that Russia is doing is liberating the Ukrainian people. Well, that's clearly not the case. The Ukrainian people feel that they're not being liberated, that they don't want to be liberated. They're totally fine the way they are. But if you take away that smoke screen or that bullshit and you go to the core of the reason that's not being spoken about, it's got to do with oil and gas, which is money. And Putin knows the value of what's in Ukraine. Hang on, hear me out. As well does America. So America doesn't want Russia to have access to that resource.
And I broke you little because I know what you know why. Because America knows. America knows that Russia with Ukraine is a huge imperium. And Russia without Ukraine is just a normal nation. This is the difference. Russia with Ukraine is an imperium. It's again an imperium, a big country with many resources and really with a lot of power. Macht, power.
Yeah.
Powerful. Without Ukraine is Russian.
Well, yes and no. I mean, Russia still has strength.
It's true. It's a nation, but it's just a nation. But with Ukraine is an imperium, and then USA, America knows that too, of course. And this is the reason. There's too many interests again in behind. And this is what is fucking make me angry.
Yeah,
because
I know.
at the end, people doesn't care. They don't care the shit people. They don't care the political geopolitical principle, They just care what is there inside and not the people.
It's always the people that suffer.
Yeah.
It's the citizens and the innocent people that always pay the price. And it's on both sides now. You have to think about this as well. The innocent people on the Ukrainian side are feeling it, of course, because they're being essentially pushed out of their homes, out of their country, which is a very, very... It's a tragedy. However, the Russian people also are being affected by this because of Putin's decisions and because of what he's choosing to do. Financially and economically, if the sanctions are maintained, Russia is going to be economically cut off from the rest of the world. Their only connection for many years, their only connection will be with China. Essentially, that's the only open channel that they will have. For the rest of the world, they're off. I mean, already many Russian banks are being cut off from the SWIFT banking system, which means that they can't bank internationally. The oligarchs, their assets are being frozen because the oligarchs, in many ways, are seen to be financing Putin's regime. They back Putin, so they're essentially financing him as well. So by freezing their assets, it's making it very difficult for them to support him because
anonymous hackers, anonymous, in internet.
Yeah,
they said they're going to make problems, maybe with some virus, or I don't know,
Yeah.
but they are going to do.
Well, this is the other thing
well.
that actually has not as yet been really exposed is what's going to happen through the cyber world.
Yeah.
You know, like what's going to what effects is that going to have on everything related to the cyber side of things? It's pretty amazing.
The other thing that we don't know, is if we have to believe all what we see.
No, we shouldn't believe what we see, because especially on the mainstream media.
The other thing, where I'm thinking, because I have friends, they're living in Ukraine and they are living in Kiev, now. And they still having internet, they still having works, make a congress, video conference and everything. I don't know the names because I don't want to say who is working there now and in international way, but seems to don't be so bad in Kiev, and since people is of course dying, but he's not bombing the cities. He's bombing around the cities where the petrol not the stations, petrol control is, the weapons, the military corners. Of course, there is civil people living too near there.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, he has been bombing. He has been bombing apartment buildings. Like residential areas have been under attack. Not in Kiev, but in other cities. Yes, but the fact is that he has attacked residential areas.
The thing is, if it's true or not, what we see there with this.
Well, when you see that, even with the buildings, I mean, they look like residential buildings.
Yeah, but we could be from 5 years ago.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't believe all what I see.
No, yeah, okay, but I tend to be cautious myself.
Because I think the strategy that he has, because yesterday I was hearing people from the military, from the Marines, and from the fly and from the earth militaries, colonels in Spain, and then they was telling more or less what he thinks is going to do, and he is really trying to desmilitarize that, but he doesn't want to kill people because they kill.
No, he doesn't want to kill
his own people.
Yeah.
You know what? He needs Ukraine without people. This is like so stupid is he's not. I think he's making a strategic war at the moment, and I'm sure he doesn't want to kill many civil people, or not too much, or.
Well, he hopefully wouldn't want to kill any. Yeah, no, I don't know that he's wanting to kill civilians is a big issue, and I don't think that his intentions would be to. Well, I don't know. I mean, how do you know? How do you really know? I mean, the reality is he has bombed residential buildings. Now, is that just a tactic to scare residents in other cities where they are not yet in, or where they haven't approached yet, to say, listen, if you don't surrender, if you don't give up, this is what you can expect to happen? Who knows?
Now he's open to cordones humanitarios, humanity.
But they didn't, though. That's
roads.
The problem. No, they didn't. They said they would, but they started. They were still fighting in those areas.
No. They do it today. No. Yesterday and today they do it in one. I don't know exactly how it's the name, but they are doing and leave the people 5 hours or 6 hours to go. They are doing.
Yeah.
And they are still be without fire all this time.
Yeah.
This is true because people is there and they gone. This is the reason I think, he wants that the people goes, because he want to get this, these points where he's sure they are not be more a danger for Russian.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing is now with the Flüchtlinge, with the
refugees.
With the refugees. Now we have the refugees here. Anyway, if the war doesn't go in better, it is at the moment bad enough because first people die already.
Yep.
And second, we have all the refugees, and it's the biggest odyssey that we have from people. You know?
A million refugees already. 1 million people have had to flee.
I think they are too less because in Ukraine it's a country so big like Spain, and living so many people like
44 million people.
Yeah, it's exactly like Spain. And 1 million refugees, for me, they are too less.
Yeah, there's going to be more. Well, there definitely will be more. I mean, as Russia continues to make their inroads towards Kiev and the other major areas they want, there's definitely going to be more. There's no doubt about it.
The only thing is very funny now at the moment, in this not funny moment, is it's make me angry too. I saw some videos in Ukraine from people is going to go out from Ukraine, and they are students, but they are Africans. Students.
Yeah, I saw that too. The discrimination towards the
and I think the shit, I think in that moment I thought the Ukrainians, they are not better than we or than the other ones.
Yeah, I find that very.
Are you agree or not?
Yeah, it was very disappointing to see that and to hear that.
Yes.
I totally agree with you, because there were a number of African students that were based in Ukraine that, but essentially, from what I heard, was that they were segregating blacks in one line and whites in another.
Yes, but the blacks couldn't went to the train.
That's right. The whites were given priority and the blacks were not.
And this is a shit like, okay, Leute, like...
yeah, that's extremely disappointing to hear that.
You can see too that at the end, the human beings, we are everywhere shit, really.
Yeah.
Demonstrated shit.
Yeah.
And demonstrated racism and everything all the time, and it's going to make me so sad,
Yeah.
It's like yesterday or for 2 days ago in Spain, because now all the countries around, they are seeing how Putin is doing, taking Ukraine again for Russia and to be a big country and imperium and blah, blah, blah. All the other countries, they are going to think in the same way, like when it looks like... Taiwan with China, like Morocco now with Ceuta and Melilla in Spain. So, and we are going to have troubles because for 2-3 days ago, because we are disturbed, with the problem in Ukraine, with the war in Ukraine.
Distracted.
Every is so concentrated there. They use that moment and they bring 2,000 refugees from Africa in Spain through our verja. We have a very big wall like Mexico have, and they was springing there in Ceuta, Melilla. But the point is not there. The point is the 2,000 in one day,
it's a lot,
and the next day 800. They are coming all the time, and nobody knows that. Nobody. It's like it's like what I say all the time. People was killing everywhere, every time in the war. Not just now Ukraine. In Burundi, it was the biggest genocide in the
genocide.
world. Yes.
Yeah.
Genocide. The people was not killing by guns. The people was killing by machetazos.
Yeah, machetes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
look, there's other conflicts going on in the world. Syria is still having a conflict.
Yes,
Somalia,
Palestina.
The Americans are bombing Somalia even as we speak. It's a constant. There is constant conflict.
Yes.
And yet and I think I said to you as well the other day, the reason why there's so much focus on what's going on with Ukraine and Russia is because it's the first time since essentially the Second World War that you've seen a conflict with white people versus white people.
Yes,
right?
Because they look like
and
we.
exactly,
like we are.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that I think is the key difference for many people. It's like, holy shit, wow, this is like a big deal now, you know. Whereas before, America's been in conflict with the Middle East or with Africa for a number of years now. And it's kind of like, well, that's because they're different to us, you know, like there's a different culture, they look different. Well, what do you say now about Ukraine and Russia? Essentially, they are the same fucking people.
In Mexico, they are killing every year. You know how many women? Every year. In Mexico, or how many people is being killed in Mexico?
Well, I know there's a high death rate in Mexico, but I don't know if that's due to the drug cartels.
Killing.
Like murders.
Yeah, murder.
Like just normal murders.
Yes,
not
normal. They're not normal, but they're murder.
Yeah,
yes.
but what's
yes.
classified as murder?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
3,000
per year.
Per year.
Okay.
I know what? It's more than in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Now already.
Yeah.
This is the reason it's very crazy all what has happened when you try to open your mind and your view, you know, around the world and say why we are going now all, you know, fighting there and going there to help in there. If it's a lot of countries around, they need exactly the same help. What happened? Okay, it's like the Twin Towers. Everybody was like, oh my God. Of course, was a disaster. Of course, was horrible. Of course, but why? Because you see that person working in the office like you know, he has the same life like you. He makes the same shit like you do, you know. It's this kind of psychology, you know, that you think it could be me, you know, or somebody else that I know, or my family, or anyway. But you will not think it that if it's a black person. And this is the reason maybe because I tell you, when I see the soldiers, the Russian soldiers or the soldiers, that I feel very, 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 very sad about them, because I know they are going to kill with 18 and 19 years old.
Yeah, they're basically boys.
All young soldiers in Ukraine. And for 2 weeks they was making TikTok, you know. It's crazy. Yeah. And they are so so sad, because to be killing is a shit, but to send someone to kill someone is I think it's war. I cannot explain you. Yeah. And in every young person that I see my sons. Now I told you before, and this is a very strange feeling. I get all the time something in my stomach, you know. Yesterday I was crying because I didn't feel so well, but I was crying in the night because I was feeling very how do you say in English when you cannot help?
Helpless. You're feeling helpless.
Yeah, helpless, because I cannot help. I can't do nothing to stop that shit, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, because in the end you will see all the pacts, you know, afterwards, all the peace arrangements, all the peace agreements. They did. Always we did it after every war, you know, every war.
Yeah, but how many people had to die before those agreements are reached? I know, it's crazy.
Somebody said to me, because these agreements, they are written with the blood from. I say, yes, but this is very funny for the literature, you know, very funny to have a song, to write a song or make a movie. But please, how I always say, in Spain, you know, all the people are always we are all sending now weapons. I think it's not good. People they have the right to defend themselves, right? I'm sure. But people, they have the right to decide if they want to fight or not. And this doesn't happen now in Ukraine. They have to stay there.
Yeah, well, it's what I said before. The men now between the ages of 18 and 60 have to stay in the country. They can't leave with their families to get out.
For me, it's like a opposite to the democracy.
No, I know, but I think you'll find I understand your point, and I know what you mean, but I think you find if you were to ask those men, what would they rather do? I'm guessing 9 out of 10 would say, "I'll stay and fight for my country."
I don't think so.
No, I know you don't, and this is where we have a difference of opinion. But I'm speaking from a man's perspective. You're speaking from a woman's perspective. I I know if it was me, if the shoes, like if I was in those shoes, my response would be, I'm going to stay and defend my country. I know it's going to be very hard for me to leave my family and to see my family leave, but if I don't stay and fight for my country, then my family has nothing to come back for or to. And this is their country. This is the country that my children are born in. This is their heritage. I can't just, we spoke about this before. I can't just run away with my tail between my legs like a coward and just think, oh, thank God I'm alive. This is me personally speaking. This is my opinion. I know other people think differently. I would rather die fighting for my country and maintaining our sovereignty than running away and living as a refugee, I'm sorry. My pride could not live with that. I would have to stay and fight.
I don't know. I was feeling a little bit. Of course, you cannot compare the situation. It's maybe different, but could be the same if we handle from the beginning in another way, like we did in Spain with Catalonia.
Look, of course, the whole thing could be different if it was handled in a different way.
But I say just because the independence from Catalonia is a little bit like Ukraine. You cannot compare it exactly, but the feeling that I had like a Spanish person is to know why Catalonia want to be separate, why they don't feel Catalanes.
Yeah.
In Catalonia, inside Catalonia, 50% they are pro-Spanish and 50% they are pro-Catalan. I'm sure in Ukraine it's exactly the same. They are...
I think it would be more.
I don't know, but in Spain it's really 50-50 because they make a referendum. It was illegal, and in the referendum come 50-50. I don't think so. I think it's 60 pro-Spanish, 40 pro-Catalonia, but we can speak all the night in this debate. The thing is, I was feeling like an external person, like I was feeling like I say, okay, I think I'm Russian, and now they want to take a part from me away from my country. At the beginning, I was very, very angry, and I was prepared to fight as well. And I say, you bloody idiot, yeah? What do you think? You cannot get a part of my nation because I feel Spanish, and Spain is for me all, inclusive Catalonia. And if you want to separate from Spain, you have to ask me if I want to, that you do it, because Catalonia is exactly so much I am the owner, or is so much my Catalonia like yours. Mm-hmm. Or because you are Catalan, you think it's more yours. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. For me, it's all Spain is Spain. Mm-hmm. Even in Andalusia, even there is Spain. And I want to have all Spain, of course. Mm-hmm. But at the end, after 3 or 4 years, I don't know how long it's get this shit with Catalonia and with the independentismo, and they call them independentist country, and it was illegal, and we never recognized that like a Spanish country government, for sure, because our constitution forbidden to recognize that they are independent. And one day I was thinking, hey, listen, every day in the news, all people concentrated in that shit from Catalonia. Nobody's working here because we are all losing the time just in this bloody corner, Spain, what happened? All the companies went out because it was not sure if they are going to be independent or not, because it was like la la la, you know. We sent the tanks too, and army, and everything was there, you know, like, hey people, be quiet here. So protesting everywhere in the world because they think this is the point. All when I come back to Spain from the holidays, every people was telling to me, even people is working in the news in Germany, you know. I don't say the names. People, they are writing news and they send the news in the TV, in the German TV. They said to me, oh, why you don't like that they are independent? Why you forbidden that? And why are you so bad? And you send it there, army, and the National Police, Guardia Civil, you know, to fight against them and hitting them, because some videos, you could see some videos that the Spanish policeman and Spanish army was hitting them, you know, and we was very bad persons, you know, and burning their corner. And Spanish people at the moment, we was fascists, you know, they said to us, we are fascists.
Fascists.
Yeah. We are bad. We are worse, more than bad.
The Catalonians were saying that about the Spanish.
Not just the Catalonians.
Okay.
All the world, baby.
Oh, the rest of the world.
The rest of the world.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But I know, because the people was asking me, and all the news they got in Germany from Spain, they was fake news. What happened? We make with help. Also, I didn't do that personally, but I know that it was like a group of people in Brussels was trying to filter, you know, all the news that was coming from Catalonia, because they used that propaganda against Spain to put us less. So I can't believe that is exactly the same as happened here. You know what I mean? Now we are thinking Russian is the bad. I don't think all Russians people they are bad persons, because I know a lot of Russian persons, and I like them a lot, you know, and just the Ukrainians are goods, you know, now. And this has happened exactly the same. Okay, people in Spain, we are more, how I can say, we have so many words. We was in the Civil War too, you know.
You've had your own conflict.
Yes, we know what means that conflict, and we stopped that. But one day I was telling you, I was thinking, you know, fuck off. Give them Catalonia. Give them. I cannot hear that shit anymore. I'm boring for that tema, you know. It's getting boring.
Just let them have it.
Yeah, give it, but make a wall, you know, make a wall. My father was always saying, my father always said, I love walls. I said, you love walls? Yes, I love walls, said my father. I said, how you love walls? Because walls are perfect. If you have troubles with a neighbor, make a wall. If you have that wall is very easy to isolate yourself and don't have troubles with the rest of the world. Make a wall. He always said, if someone want to be isolated, make a wall. If we're independent, make a wall. Is your neighbor? Make a wall. You are the right to make a wall. Build a wall. You know, and if you can out, passport. You want to go in? Passport. You're gonna oh no, you cannot go. Sorry, no, you stay. Okay, maybe you. So in that way, you know, and this problem is gone. The problem is gone.
Well,
no, yeah, it's true. Sometimes we're stupid.
I don't know that walls have always worked, Julia.
No, always not. But
you know, seriously, if you think about just here in Germany,
yes,
the wall and the problems
it was
that
working a lot of time.
No,
yes, of course,
many
until
people,
they put it down. Now we have the shit in Europe.
Many people died. Many people died because they wanted to escape from the east.
How many people was dying because they want to escape from the war? How many?
I think a lot of people.
I think
a lot of people.
Yes, not so stupid.
And the fact that the wall was here in Germany, the Berlin Wall was in existence for as long as it was, as as someone that wasn't raised and born in Europe, I can say from the outside, the wall just shouldn't have existed. So I don't know that. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I personally don't think walls are the right answer. I don't think walls.
I don't think too. But if strongly, for me, was better now that they make a wall in Ukraine that they are sending bombs and killing people. Yes.
Yeah. Well.
For me, yes, of course.
I would hope that we as a species, as a human race, have evolved past the point of being able to get to a point where we can live together harmoniously without walls and without the need to feel like we have to send in armies and soldiers and fight one another. I mean, we have to get past this
I know, Andrew.
primitive thinking.
Yes, I know.
It's just so primitive, and it's thinking of a handful of people. It's not the majority, and I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that the majority of Russians don't want this conflict. They don't want to see their friends. They have friends,
I know.
family in Ukraine
sure.
being attacked.
Too. Yes.
I'm absolutely convinced. So if Putin was just able to just pull off the gas and stop the invasion, then and have some kind of diplomacy and just sit down with the West and with the president from Ukraine and have dialogue and try to just talk it out, it would just, I'm sure they could come to an agreement. I mean, you say you don't fully, trust or agree with everything that Zelensky, what's his name, Zelensky has done. But what he has done is he said to Putin, I will sit down with you and I will negotiate with you. Come and sit with me.
Moment.
Come and sit. He said it just the other day.
I know.
Come and sit with me and we will talk this out. Not like you sat with Macron or with Schulz at 40 feet apart. I will sit with you side by side and we will talk this out.
I know, but the other day, the first meeting they had, I think it was.
Yeah, but that wasn't Zelensky.
Zelensky wasn't not there because
no,
he
but
was
neither was
afraid
Putin.
that he's going to be.
But neither was
killed.
Putin. What he's saying is, Putin, you come here. I will be there if you are there. Just you and me, and we talk it out.
I know.
He's willing to talk about it.
Yes,
he wants to resolve it.
Now.
Yes.
Now, because he knows what is the tortilla they are going to do, and in which danger the country is going because he doesn't stop. Now.
Yeah.
A little bit too late. Now.
Better late than never.
Yes, I know. But this is what I try to say all the time. Why we need that? Why we don't do it from the beginning?
No, I know, but it's like I said before. It's like a dick swinging contest. It's like these men with egos. They have to try to be better than the other, or stronger, or more powerful than the other one, rather than just letting their egos go and just saying, "Let's sit down together and try to talk this out." It's like, no, they have to flex their muscle. They have to try to prove that they're stronger than the other one.
Which is your solution for the war?
I personally think we have to move beyond violence and aggression. Okay? That's for one thing.
Yes.
We have to evolve past the fact that we can dominate the other by aggression or violence, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work because maybe it's a short-term resolution, but long-term it's not going to make any difference. There has to be another way. Christ, I don't know. We just have to stop war. We just have to stop wars.
Yes, but I say now for the Russian war, not everywhere in the world.
The resolution for the Russian war?
Yes, for our war, or what?
To
call Ukrainian war.
Well, I would just like to see that both of the Ukrainian and the Russian politicians can just come to some kind of amicable agreement that they can stop the destruction and stop the innocent people's lives being destroyed. I mean, that's the
Yes, but
problem. That's
this-
what fucks me up the most, is seeing all of these families and the women and the children and people being basically removed from their homes, who were literally 3 weeks ago living a normal life very happily. Nothing, everything was for them fine. Now all of a sudden they're considered refugees, and it must be an incredibly difficult situation that they're in. So, I don't know, Julia. I really don't know what.
If they don't make an
to
agree, if they don't have an agree, because until now
If they don't come to an agreement,
yes,
well, then
if
we're
they
fucked.
don't come to,
We're fucked.
which is what do you think? Who or how we can make sure that we are not going to be involved in the three world.
I don't think we
European
can.
World.
I don't think we can.
I think we can.
Well, I'm curious to hear, but I personally don't think we can.
I
And
think
the
we
reason
can.
why I say that is because there will be rebel groups within Ukraine that will continually resist and fight against the Russians. They will continually keep getting support from NATO, and the support is military
Yeah.
munitions and military equipment. And I think until that is resolved, Russia is always going to have a problem with completely controlling Ukraine. I don't think the Ukrainians are going to completely let it go. There will always be resistance groups there. They might capture Kiev. They might capture other major cities, but Ukraine is a big country. It is huge. It is a very big country, and for Russia to completely dominate it, it's going to be very difficult. So long as there's that rebel group of Ukrainian fighters, let's call them, that are backed by NATO, that's going to be a constant problem for the European community overall, because it means that ultimately countries like Germany and France and other big countries in this part of the world, they're either going to have to get involved, and if they get involved, then it's just it's just terrible. I really can't see a way out of it. The only way out of it is if they can sit down at a table together and stop the fighting now. That's I think the only way.
How you can move the people to sit in the table together and stop that? How you can move Putin and how you can move Zelensky? I think it's just one way.
How?
I think just the Russian people, they can do that. Not just Russian. The citizens, the Russian citizens. Yeah. I think they have to go out and demonstrate that they don't want to have a war, to demonstrate for the peace, because a lot of people there demonstrated in Russian and they get in jail. Or,
they're being arrested.
Yes, but I told you before that if all then are going out, it's impossible to have so many jails for so many things. They are going to be arrested if they are going to protest against the war. I think Russian people has to move now. Russian people has if the Russian people knows, I tell now in name the Russian people, I tell them if someone is hearing me, if the Russian people doesn't do that now, they are going to have many, many problems and to be isolated for the rest of the world during many, many years. That means the sons maybe from the sons, they never go out. They will never find the work nowhere. Maybe they will not have pass or traveling free for Europe or for another countries in the world. That means you are going to live maybe in isolation.
Yeah.
Maybe we are going to die all in Europe as well, but you are going to have a fuck life, This is the reason I just say, please, Russian people, don't hurt your bloody Putin crazy man and try to go over him. Just the massage, just the meahai, just the how is the you say masses?
The masses.
Yes, the
The
masses
people.
can change something. You know,
Yeah.
all what the masses do is always the right decide. Always. Do you know the kilos and the cow? Do
No.
you know that?
No.
So it was a cow, and people in the little country, they wanted to know how much this cow was weighed.
The weight.
The weight was, you know. So and the vascula, the
Scales.
that was broken. So, and then they asked 3 or 4 persons, what do you think? How much weight, how many kilos is going to have this cow? And one say a number 300, the other say 350 kilos, the other say 400 kilos more or less, you know. But nobody say exactly or could say exactly just what they think. They asked all the massa, they was there, all the persons, and all the persons, they have a number. So if you make mathematical numbers from all the mass and the end the result, you know, if the summa, the plus from all these numbers, the result was exactly the mass and the weight from this cow. You know? This is the reason we decide always right. The mass together makes the power.
Yep.
If we are together, we can stop that shit. I think Putin is nothing without his country, without his people, you know. Hey, if someone is, please hear me, Russian people, go through. It's nothing happened to you. No, because you cannot stop them. It's not too much police in Russia that you are going to be in jail. And what happened if you are going to be in jail 2 weeks? Then you are in jail 2 weeks, but you rescue the world.
Yeah, I think it's more than just being in jail for 2 weeks. I think they also get...
No, they don't, because all the army and all the people is here. No, people together, they are strong. Believe me.
They are. I agree with you. I agree with you.
And they are a
If
huge...
the majority of the Russian people were to come onto
140
the streets and
Russians.
say, this is enough, no more, maybe then things would be different. But
I'm sure.
why aren't they doing that?
Because they think, because they hear a lot of propaganda, you know, that they are the good ones and the Ukrainians are the monster. They are hearing all the time in the news. But this is, again, something that I say, how many Russian people is outside from his country? A lot, you know?
Yeah, but not enough.
Yes, but these people is in contact with people in his country.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's still not enough to make a difference for those that are still in the country.
But they can give the information through.
Yeah, but it's not enough, Julia. It's too small. It's not reaching the numbers.
Yes, why? It's too small, but in the world we are living now, Andrew, if you make in TikTok, la, 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 and you have 40 million views in one...
Yeah, but
in 1 hour.
Not everybody gets 40 million views.
If but not everybody, but one. Not everybody, you're right, but one.
Yeah, but is that one making a statement about the war?
The other day I was hearing from some I know what. The sun with the high for the little children's. You know this high little shark, la la la, how is the sun? How is the sun?
I don't know.
With the shark, yes, the baby shark. No, baby shark. How is that song?
Is it a German song?
It's American song or an English song.
Baby Shark?
Yes.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Baby Shark song is a stupid song you never heard in your life before. You know how many views had this song? You will not believe it.
Probably 200 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just wanted to tell you. Okay?
No, I know what you're saying. I get your
change
point.
Things. We can move things. Hello, wake up, people. You know, do something. I don't know. Do something for the Russians. The Russians, they have to wake up. They have information from outside. All the Russians not so stupid. Young people is in the redes sociales, in the internet, and they can see what they want, or they are carried to.
Yeah.
You think that the Russian people, they cannot go through internet?
Well, no, they still can for now, but I did hear that Putin wants to start to restrict access to what they can see online. So I heard that he wants to block social media channels, like the typical channels like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and he wants to limit the access that the population can have. Now, there's only one reason why, so that he can control the narrative that gets distributed to them.
Okay, yes, I know that.
Just like China does, right? China controls everything that is disseminated through the population. That's why all of the Western social media outlets are basically not available unless you go through a VPN, which only a handful of people do. So I think Putin's attitude is, I'm going to copy what China has done in terms of controlling the narrative, controlling the message that gets to the people, because social media it's the equalizer in many ways. It gives people the opportunity to voice what's really happening, and I think he wants to try to shut that down. That's what I heard not long ago, that he wants to control that more. So if he does that, and then he continues with his propaganda of how he's trying to liberate Ukraine, and that they're all neo-Nazi fascists that are against Russia, then unfortunately the Russian people aren't going to stand up and say,
yes, this is the
wrong.
reason I say Russian people, they are outside. They have to leave the message there. They have to now call the people, call his families. These families, they have to call the friends.
Yeah.
I don't know, to make.
No, I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but
to give the information.
No, I get it. But the problem is, I just don't think that that's going to reach enough people. That's the problem. It will reach a handful, but it's not going to be enough. And the handful that it does reach, they're the ones that are going to be arrested and thrown back into jail for demonstrating and protesting.
I don't lose the hope. I always
no.
know
You
that
shouldn't lose hope.
Always win, and
we shouldn't lose hope.
All the revolutions and all the winners.
I'm not saying we should lose hope.
Because of masses,
Yes, you're right. And
the
I'm not saying we should lose hope. All I'm saying is, Putin is aware of the fact that he has to control the narrative. He has to control the media.
The other solution is that someone from his staff kill him.
I can't see that happening. Yeah, it's another option, but I don't know that it's going to happen.
One Ukrainian can be going inside. All dictators around Europe.
I think Putin's inner circle. I think Putin's inner circle has been so well vetted, and he knows every single one of the people around him for such a long time already, that he knows that he's safe with those people. I can assure you, everybody that is around Putin has probably already been around him for a minimum of 10 years. He does not have anybody in his inner circle that he has not known or seen around him for less than 10 years, because he probably feels he has to have that kind of trust, otherwise he is vulnerable.
How many years was Ceausescu there?
I don't know.
More than 40, I think. And he has to be killed for his people, Hussein, he was 40 years there, and he has to be killing from his people, his citizens.
Who?
Hussein, from Egypt.
Ah, okay. Yeah, but that's slightly different.
The Iran one, he was killing from his people.
Yeah, but again, America was involved with that.
Yes, but Ceausescu not.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Look,
I know what you're saying. The Russian people have to try to somehow stand against Putin and say, we don't want this, and they all have to get on the streets and protest. I totally agree with
because
you.
I don't think that how NATO is handling now, how we are handling now, sending weapons all the time, that
It's not
we
gonna
are
help.
in the right way to stop that shit.
No, I agree
This
with
is
you.
only what I say.
That's
and I
not
have
gonna
a
help.
bad feeling,
Yep.
and I have a feeling it's going to be worse.
Yep.
And I have a feeling I have to make my cases and goes everywhere, anywhere. I don't know where. Of course, I will go to Spain because for me, Germany is too near Ukraine. But in Spain, we are not safe enough because we are giving weapons. Portugal is giving weapons.
Yeah.
You know, everyone is giving weapons.
Yeah.
We are going
Even
to
Australia is giving assistance. So, I could say we go to Australia, but at the end of the day, doesn't make much
I don't
difference.
know.
Look, what we don't want is for this thing to get out of control. We don't want more war. We don't want more violence, more killing, because it's not going to serve anyone's purpose. It really isn't. It's not the answer. We must have evolved as a species past the point where we must have learned from the First and the Second World Wars especially that is not the right direction and the path that we get to an agreement or some kind of peace, because it just isn't. War is not the answer. There is no value in putting young boys, young men on the front line and saying, go and fight for your country because it's what we tell you to do. No, that's not the answer. It just isn't the answer.
I think I will put my sons in safe, and I will not leave that they are going to fight anywhere.
Well, I think for now it's not going to be a problem unless, of course, Germany gets involved in the war. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think Germany will throw soldiers on the front line. I really would be surprised if that were to happen.
We have not.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
We have not soldiers in Germany. Germany has
they have soldiers, but they're not going to put.
Germany, they have the schwach.
Yeah, but they're not going to put
the weak army in all Europe, in all the world.
Yes,
at the moment.
And there's reasons for that, but they have soldiers. They have an army, but they're not going to put them in a conflict environment. So I don't think
why they have the army. For what they have the army?
It's been more about just having, just for the country to have an army, but when they've been deployed, it's been on peacekeeping purposes.
Are really thinking that if Putin are coming on the door, that we are not sending our people there to fight?
No, of course we are, but
okay.
But Putin's not going to come to
Are you sure?
Germany at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he has any intent to come
he will
here.
not come into Germany to get Germany, but he's going maybe to send 1 or 2 presents, maybe. Because he said that. He said, if you help, if you try to stop me in what I'm doing, you are going to have consequence.
Yeah. By that, I think he's just threatening nuclear bombs. He's just going to threaten.
Yes.
But that makes no sense for him either. For him to throw a nuclear bomb from Russia to Germany is so stupid, because even his country will be affected by that.
Yeah, I know.
That makes no logical sense.
No.
He's not going to do that.
No.
He's just not going to do it.
This is the reason I think he's going to come by land.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's not going to come into Germany.
Taking some missiles, there are another weapons. They're just not the nuclear, but
but he's not going to throw missiles at Germany. He's not. I tell you right now, because as soon as he were to do that, that would be then a very, very strong reason for NATO and America to then be involved in retaliation. So why would Putin threaten that? Because again, if he was to do that, he's putting his own people at risk.
He's not going to, yes, but he's not, of course, but he's not to begin. I think he will not begin putting the bombs in Germany. I think he's going to begin maybe putting the bombs in Lithuania or in another countries, or in Georgia or in another countries that are free.
That's possible.
And around us. And then that is going to be the reason for start the war. This is what I
Well,
say.
the war's started.
Yes, but
End of the day, the war has started.
yes,
It just depends on how this thing finishes. That's what we're really. That's I think what we're at now. The war has started, and that's one thing I agree with Zelensky on. And he's saying that the European war has now started. It all the future really depends on how this thing is going to finish, and that depends on how leaders like Russian, Ukrainian, and even those representing NATO, how they can come to some kind of an agreement where they can stop the violence, stop the war.
yeah, but the only thing I don't understand is, okay, una pennis davon.
Not relying on.
Yeah, not relying on. Yeah, from the political.
Not being reliable.
Reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, not relying able from the political reasons that they have through the years. Blah 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 blah. Okay, but how Zelensky could think that Ukraine is going to win against Russia? How? How? Because it's like if I go to fight against Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, in the good sides. You know?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
How I think I can win? Take it for the balls, okay.
Just
maybe.
kick him in the balls.
Maybe. But it's like I don't understand the men's, you know.
So Russia needs to just get kicked in the balls.
Yeah, but how you kick the Russian in the balls? You know, and now is his help. Is he say, I need help. I can't do alone that. I need help. Send me help, NATO. Please, Europe, send me help because I cannot and I have the right to defend myself and I can't. But you can help me.
Yeah.
I say, why I can help you? Of course I can help you, but I don't want to help you, baby. Okay, you know, this is I am so stupid maybe. I know there are many political reasons. In my opinion, there are no political reasons to begin a war anyway. But if they think they have political reasons, if they start a war, how you can start a war with a huge country, you know, and you're a little one. And you, when you say, oh, I cannot defend myself, I need weapons, you know, for 2 days ago, Ukraine doesn't have any more drones. All the drones, they was I don't know how many drones they had, but there was not more drones. You know how you can see that? Because they could not check that the caravan from the Russian militaries, there was 65 kilometers, you know, and they didn't check it, you know, they didn't check it. They could bomb all these caravans, you know, and stop it there, but they didn't see it because they don't have drones to see, you know, and we send all drones that they send weapons, no, you know. I don't know. It's like I think it's so it's very sorry, but it's very stupid. All the wars are stupid, but this war is much stupid because it's a little country against a big country and involve another neighbors. Like,
but that's how every
me.
war starts, Julia.
Sorry?
Every war has been like that, especially the
You
second.
think so?
Yes, I do. Yeah, but so I mean, essentially, that's how all wars have initiated. You know, countries have reluctantly come into them. I mean, it took a long time for America to get involved in the Second World War. A long time. It wasn't until Pearl Harbor was bombed that they decided to be involved. And that can be a separate conversation as to how that whole thing started. But I guess if you look at it now, the way things are, it's kind of very similar to how things were pre World War II, right? There was a lot happening in Europe. There was a lot of movement and action in Europe. Hitler was very much moving towards certain positions in Europe, saying we're going to take those countries. And America was very reluctant to be involved, very, very reluctant. Churchill was on the phone with America literally every night begging them to help and to be a part of the resistance to fight back, and they were saying, no, we're not going to get involved. It wasn't until Pearl Harbor was bombed. So what I'm concerned about is what's going to happen. What's going to be the catalyst this time before NATO or the West, the United States, before they feel like they say, okay, enough is enough, and then they get involved. Because if that happens, then we will truly have essentially World War III. Now, I'm hoping that we can avoid that's not going to happen, that calmer heads will prevail or cooler heads will prevail. But at the moment, the way it looks now, if you were to compare it in history to the lead up or the build up to the Second World War, it's kind of like this is the point where the Germans are invading Poland, right? This is where the Germans are invading France and Holland and all of these other countries, the Blitzkrieg as they called it. It's very, very similar, very similar. So what's going to be the catalyst that brings in NATO and the West? I hope that catalyst doesn't happen, but
the catalyst can be that a missile or a bomb is falling down in one country.
Yeah.
Who hurt?
But let's hope
really
that doesn't happen.
Sweden or Finland or or maybe Lithuania or I don't know.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Because they make a wrong step or they say they did something. The others say Biden, it was very explicit to say that because he said, listen, we don't want to be a danger for Russian. That's he stopped all the trainings, military trainings America has in, I don't know in which corners. But he stopped the trainings with the missiles and with everything, that the Russians don't think that the Americans want to training now and use the missiles to throw the missiles to Russia, They stop all military action and all military missiles, all military actions in all the bases everywhere in Europe, because my family is working in Rotan. It's happened nothing. Is stopped complete the bases in Rota, in south of Spain is American Spanish military bases there. In Madrid, in Torrejón de Ardoz, is as well, is stopped. You don't see flying, nothing, because they are afraid that they, if the Russians see a lot of movement from flying and from I don't know what, they think, they are prepared something for us, and they feel more in danger,
threatened.
And they go, yes.
Yeah.
And Biden said, we are not give the reason, or we are not are going to be the reason for the third war. We are not.
No, that's right. But America was saying the same thing before the Second World War.
Yes,
that's
and
what I'm trying to say.
Was Japanese come there to Pearl Harbor and bombs all in the night during they was sleeping.
So the thing is,
this is the thing.
What could be the catalyst for the third?
The Japanese there.
I don't know. But what could be the catalyst for the Third World War? Could it be potentially China saying we're going to take Taiwan? You just don't know. This is the thing. We don't know. I mean, it's not going to be exactly like it was for the way the Second World War started and panned out. But what's going to be the catalyst for the third?
Maybe Morocco.
It's a question I think people should start to think about and really consider. But anyway, let's hope it doesn't even get to that point. As I said before, let's hope cooler heads prevail and that people can start to pull away from violence and war and say we don't need to fight. We can come to an agreement diplomatically. Let's just sit down and talk this out.
I think the Russian people, they have to take up her voices.
But like you said, the Russians need to be more involved. The Russian people need to be, and maybe you're right. Maybe that is it. But
because I know Russian people and they are right. They are not bad.
No, they're good people. There is nothing wrong with Russian people.
And they are workers and they know a lot and they learn very good.
Yes.
And I prefer to have... Maybe I'm very racist here when I say that, but I prefer to have a Russian neighbor and not a Marocana neighbor, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the people there is going to be angry with me. Sorry, but I have a black son. I'm not racist.
No, I
you
know.
And an Indian son.
I know you're not racist. I know.
But
I know.
for neighbor, I prefer to have the Russian.
Yeah.
Maybe not now, but for 2 weeks ago, yes.
Yeah.
I just say, again, please, Russian people, if you are hearing that,
Step up.
do something. Yeah, move your ass.
Step
do
up.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Against your president. You choose your president.
It's a big
and
ask.
You can put it down your president as well.
Well, some would disagree with that as well. Some would say that his position has not been democratically decided. Like
I don't know.
But anyway,
in
who
the
knows?
second round, I don't think so that you're right, because I have friends, they have to be in the elections there in Russia, and they was working there for 10 days. They went from Germany, and they went from Spain, and they went from every corner in the world to control these elections. There was democratic wall in Russia, and they were traveling around Russia and all the little countries, in the big countries as well, where they have to vote, and it was clean. The people was coming back, and I was talking with people that was working there directly, because I know two persons, one German and one Spanish, and they went in the different groups in the different parts from Russia, and both they said to me it was clean.
Okay.
So the votes was clean. Even in the little countries, you can make more.
Yeah.
Because I know how they are, the little countries, because I come from a little country in Spain, and we vote many times, and I was 2 times working in the table, in the vote table.
In the polling station.
Yes, and the vote station, and the little countries, maybe you can move something.
Yeah.
But I tell you, they were everywhere in Russia, controlling the elections, and they was clean.
Okay.
That's the reason I'm completely sure that Russian people votes Putin, because Putin is like a personaje, like in that moment too in Italy. Tell me, the Italian.
Mussolini.
No, not Mussolini. Mussolini too. After Mussolini, the other one, the TV man.
The recent one.
The TV. Oh, what's the name? The last one in Italy. Oh. Anyway, people votes him, and when I was speaking with Italian persons, and everybody was thinking, how you can have that kind of president, corrupt,
I know who you're talking about, but I
How's
can't
the
think of the name. Yeah, I know
God.
who you're thinking about. Anyway, yeah.
It's like he was a little bit like Putin, so very corrupt, and anyway, and people loves him, and he was voted from people is living in Germany as well, Italian people.
Yeah.
Berlusconi,
that's it. Very well done.
Berlusconi.
Good job.
And this is the reason I tell you, the people, I'm sure they was vote Putin in the last round, because I know people who have been there.
Yeah.
This is the reason I say again, citizens, Russian people,
stand up.
Please stand up.
Yeah.
And put it out.
Here. I agree. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
all.
we need to bring this pony home.
Okay, and we make a coffee now.
We make a coffee now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Always lovely to talk with you.
Yes, it is always. I don't know if it's lovely, but
no, it is. I really enjoy having these conversations with you, because
I am not too prepared for speaking about.
We came into this totally unprepared.
Yes,
totally unprepared.
I just am speaking about.
It's basically just for what we've been seeing and our opinions.
Yeah, what was hearing, and because we know people from Russia, from Ukraine, because we know how they are working the internet. Very quickly you can make a lot of
propaganda
there. We are now. We know that we are not so good like we are, and they are not so bad like they are.
No, I think that's the key, really, is that the Russian people, they're not bad people. The Ukrainian people are not bad people. At the end of the day, you could probably put most Russian people in the same room as Ukrainians, and that they would drink vodka and get along and have a great time together. It's only the fucking politicians that seem to want to stick their fucking noses in things and screw everything up. And why? As I said before, it comes back to money. It's control over resources, gas, oil, and land.
I know.
And ultimately, they're the three things that drives these egos and these fucking idiots that control.
And I tell you, Russia with Ukraine is an imperium without is a nation. Yeah. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
So
with all of that said, we say good night, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, schönen guten Abend.
Hasta luego, buenas noches.
Yeah, okay. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Noches, okay. Buenas noches. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Yes, thank you.
Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.